This video is about precipitation reactions. So we have two substances, aqueous solutions of MgCl2 and Na2CO3, and we're going to mix those in a beaker. Then we're going to figure out, will this reaction form a precipitate? If so, then one of the products is going to be a solid, and we'll figure out the identity of it. If both of the products are aqueous, then there will be no precipitate. So we're going to start with our two substances, and first we have to predict the products, use our solubility rules, and figure out if either of the products is going to be a solid. So we'll start with our substances. MgCl2, we know it's aqueous because it says it's an aqueous solution. It's going to react with Na2CO3, also aqueous. We're going to predict the products. So when we do that, we have to take the positive ion from one compound and stick it with the negative ion from the other compound, because this is a double replacement reaction in solution. So if we look at our compounds, we're going to take Na and Cl, stick them together. When we do that, they're ionic, so we have to consider the charges. Na is plus, Cl is minus. That's a 1-to-1 ratio, so we don't need to add any subscripts. So that's just going to be NaCl. Then we're going to figure out our other compound. So we're going to take the magnesium ion and the carbonate ion. Got to figure out their charges. Mg is 2 plus. Carbonate is CO3 2 minus. 2 plus and 2 minus are going to cancel out. So the formula will just be MgCO3, no extra subscripts. To balance that, we put a 2 in front of NaCl. Okay, so now we have to figure out what dissolves and what doesn't. Well, the solubility rules say that any compound that has an element in group 1 will be soluble. That means it will dissolve and will be aqueous in water. And Na is in group 1. It's in the first column on the periodic table. That means NaCl will be aqueous. It will dissolve in water. So that's not a solid. Let's see if the other substance is a solid and forms a precipitate. MgCO3, well, CO3, 2 minus, is the carbonate ion. If you look at your solubility rules, carbonate is almost always solid. It rarely dissolves. There are some exceptions, but magnesium is not an exception. That means that MgCO3 will not dissolve in water and will be a solid. That means it's going to precipitate out. So yes, it will form a solid. It will precipitate out. So the answer here is yes. And the identity of the precipitate is MgCO3 or magnesium carbonate.